Yeah, I don't know, because, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, typically when I wear, like, Santa-branded condoms, like, it makes it a little bit smaller.
Weird.
Like, I don't know if it's...
Did it taste like Christmas?
It was a little minty, you know.
I would think, like, gingerbread. But yeah, I heard it could taste a little funny sometimes.
Well, like, yeah, you know, like I said, like a mint flavor, kind of like a candy cane.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Peppermint.
I do know they have some that are gingerbread flavored, by the way. So
okay. Good to know.
That's probably where you heard that.
Hey, Gage. How are you doing?
Hi.
You fuckhead.
It just goes again.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas! It's Chrism!
And to Kyle, Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. Get your ass back here.
I had no idea that joke was coming. This is our post-holiday episode.
Post-holiday?
Because we're filming this the day
I'm listening.
after Christ Mass.
And it's
Yeah, we're a little bit late.
But technically, in the realm of Christianity, I don't know why I said it like that, but in Christianity, Christmas, like Christmas Day, the 25th, is actually the first day of Christmas, and it goes until like January or something like that.
Why? Why did I just now find this out?
Because you're not a true believer in Christ, and you should be.
Or I should rot in hell.
You should be damned to hell.
Yeah. This is cool because this is
episode 15.
It's also our last episode of season 1, first season
of the year. We've had kind of a crazy ass year. I mean, this whole podcast kind of.
Yeah.
COVID is what basically birthed this podcast, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have done it without COVID.
Yeah. I guess I would just like to thanks COVID.
Thanks COVID
For starting our podcast.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Our top sponsor of this podcast.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by COVID-19.
Yeah.
Go to cdc.gov.
Yeah.
Use our code COVID-19.
Yeah.
XXX.
Buy our ventilator merch.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So fucked up. Well, we do have a special announcement.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
This has been a long year. The podcast is definitely the thing that I think was definitely it was fun. It was consistent. We were doing it, especially during quarantine. You know, all that time.
Right.
But we also just a movie we're involved in was just released to end the year, and I thought we could talk about that a little bit.
Fuck.
Not like really. Most likely, all the people who watch this podcast already know about RC Films and what we do outside of it. But to those few of you who don't, we could talk about Not So Amazing. That was released. What was it? A few days ago? About a week, or I don't know. I don't remember what the actual date was.
Yeah, it's been a few days.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the date. Just
I'll put the link down in the description if you're interested in watching the film.
It's available to watch for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
you can subscribe to the RC Films channel, which is where all of our movies have been, and also Kyle's channel. I always put our channels at the end of the video, and because Kyle has one of our films on his channel, and then the rest of them are RC films.
I feel like, I don't know, like at this point, there's just so many goddamn links that it's hard at the end of every episode
just
to
click
be
them all.
Yeah,
just click
they're
them
all there. Just check.
Yeah. I link the 2 channels where all of our movies are at, so
yeah,
just be aware.
That's what I want to say, because I saw some Twitter beef. I was not appreciative, because there was a comment about the size of these posters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, oh, Gage put waffles because it's the biggest. Well, guess what? These were all given and gifted to Gage.
Yeah.
I gave him the waffles one because I'm the bestest of his friends. I'm the best one.
Yeah.
And I got him the biggest one.
And
Because I needed to compensate for my penis and be like, look, I have friends. So that's why it's big. Not because he has a big ego. Hecker.
And also, for the apology poster, I just don't like to make fucking giant-ass posters for my short films.
Or
personally.
enough for the entire cast and crew to receive them.
But I am...
Who did I leave out?
Me. I never got one.
You never got one?
Nope. You said there wasn't enough.
Well, I must have forgot about that.
Nope, you told me to my face I wasn't getting one because there wasn't enough.
I can still make you one if you want one.
No, the deed is done.
I can still fucking make you one.
The deed is done.
I just have to order it.
Sorry. Alright, I'm done.
I'm gonna get you like 5 fucking posters.
I'm just gonna hang one up into each room.
Do you
of my
want one
house.
that's that big? Because I can make you one.
Dude,
if
they're
you...
expensive, so.
Well. Merry Christmas!
Okay, today's an interesting episode because we literally have like no news. There was nothing new said since last episode. I mean, there's like Tom Cruise's rant.
Yeah,
but-
honestly, the only news is the release of our new movie, so that's about it.
We've been working our asses off on this fucking thing for like 2 years. So we would really appreciate if you watch it.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 18 minutes, so
Strap in.
yeah, get some popcorn.
Hey, but if you watch this podcast, it shouldn't be that,
That's true.
you know,
Right.
bad. So, some of our podcasts.
Yeah, so if you watch our podcast and you're like, oh no, I don't want to watch it, it's too long, then you have no fucking excuse.
You're a hypocrite.
If you can watch us talk about, like, fucking cuties for 2 hours.
It's funny.
You can watch
It's funny, but I'll warn you, if you're easily offended, just don't even bother.
Then again, you also wouldn't be watching this podcast, probably.
That's true, because we don't care if you're offended.
Fuck you.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Eat my shit.
I will do no such thing.
Eat my shit. It's so dumb.
So yeah, go give that a watch.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really funny.
Man!
But
That's...
all right, so are we just gonna jump into the movie, or is there
Yeah,
anything
so we
else
have two new movies to talk about. One of them is a Christmas movie, but we will be talking about the non-Christmas movie first.
This is more of a Halloweeny movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a newer movie, so I think it's fun to talk about.
both new.
We watched this a couple weeks ago. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week.
Ran out
It's
of time.
called Freaky, starring Vince Vaughn and the girl from Paranormal Activity 4.
Yeah, she was really good. I like her.
yeah.
She has a name,
Yeah, I don't know
but she's
her
the
name.
girl from Paranormal
Should I look it up to
Activity 4.
pay some respects?
And I think the director's name is Christopher Landon.
Sure.
Double check for me.
Is it?
Sure, why not?
He directed both Happy Death Day movies, which I really like, especially the first one.
I like the first one, and I think the second one's like decent.
Yeah, and I've compared recently like Christopher Landon's style to your sensibilities as far as like
Yeah.
your writing style. So like it's kind of fun for me to watch his
I
movies. I
love-
think because it kind of makes me like think of you.
I love how you just compared that, and then we're gonna talk about Freaky and be like,
Well, yeah,
wah, wah, wah,
yeah.
wah.
Yeah. It's not the best.
Her name is Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton.
Yeah.
Who actually got cast as Ant-Man's daughter.
Yeah, which I think is pretty cool. I do feel bad for the other girl though, because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't even tell her. She just found out on social media that she was recasted.
No way.
Which is pretty shitty. But
That's sad.
This is really weird because, like, typically we have... I feel like the movie news in our podcast is usually what, like, gets our fucking silliness out. So now we're using that same energy with the movie. It's like, this movie is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like normally when I'm cutting stuff out, it's like cutting all the movie news stuff, and then once we get to the movie, we're like finally got our goofiness
I'm
out.
actually really having a lot of fun with this one because if it's early in the morning, I'm tired, and if it's late at night, I'm tired, and I'm like at a perfect like.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm at a good. My soul is it struck out, so.
What the fuck was that? This just sounded like a diarrhea squirt.
It sounded like my pipes when we're running our dishwasher.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm perfectly fine.
You're a fucking idiot. For those listening to the audio, he just blew water into his own face from his cup.
It was so worth it.
Freaky.
Anyway. All right, now that I've
All right.
Oh, fucking Christ.
So, Vince Vaughn, Catherine
Newton.
and Christopher Landon, right?
Yeah.
I had high expectations because I do really like Vince Vaughn and I love Happy Death Day, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, I thought it had the potential to be way better than Happy Death Day, even though I like Happy
Great
Death
concept.
Day. Because we all really liked the trailer, I think. Right?
It seemed like a fun trailer.
I think me and Micah more specifically were like, holy shit, this looks so
haven't
funny.
seen Happy Death Day, have you?
I haven't seen either one.
You need to see the first one at least.
I think I honestly liked this movie. Like, I think it's safe to say I liked it more than you guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
But I also had the least expectations.
Me and
That's
Micah were
true.
pretty excited because we both liked Happy Death Day, and the trailer was really solid, and the concept I thought was fun. I thought it was more so just like the tone of the trailer and the humor and the editing that I was more excited about, and I was hoping that like they would take the concept and actually like have fun with it, but it kind of just felt like they had a really good concept that they didn't do a whole lot with.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of just like, oh, Vince Vaughn and like a young person body, and then like it just
There's no
they
like
didn't expand on it.
Yeah, that's it. They switch bodies and then like nothing else happens. Be like, whoa, that's so cool, that's so clever. It's like, that's the movie. That's it. Nothing is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie's felt like, I think it wasn't in the beginning that we were like, oh, isn't it, maybe this feels like it's going for like almost like a B movie type of tone.
It seemed like at the beginning it knew what it was doing. Like, that's what it seemed like at first. It's like, oh, it's like a stupid sense of humor. It's not taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And then slowly you're starting to realize, you're like, oh, was it trying to take itself seriously? And it was like coming across as just
I will
bad.
say, I think for the most part, although there is a couple of performances that like we'll talk about later that were like kind of like, whoa, what? But I definitely think the directing is like infinitely stronger than like the writing.
I always find it funny when we say we'll talk about it later and then like a minute and 30 seconds go by and we're like, all right.
So some of the performances.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is we only watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I'm kind of struggling to remember a lot.
Yeah,
of
me
the
too.
stuff.
Yeah, same.
And what's interesting is like both movies we're talking about kind of have the same.
Yeah, they had the
correlating
same
issues.
problem.
Right. Where this concept is stronger than the execution.
And I think the setup is much better than the payoff. Much
And
stronger.
you have no idea. Should we just kind of get into spoilers?
Yeah, we're probably gonna spoil the shit out of both movies.
Yeah.
So let's just start with spoilers for Freaky. If you haven't seen it, you can skip ahead to the next conversation. But like, to be honest, with this movie, there isn't a whole lot to spoil. Honestly, in fact, none of it really feels like spoilers.
Well, it's like they never explain what the killer is. Is he a crazy serial killer? Is he a fucking alien? Is he just a monster?
He just like wakes up in this like weird like.
You watch the trailer and you don't really know, and you watch the trailer and then you watch the movie and you don't really know anything more after.
You know
watching
the
movie.
same amount.
You know the
as
same
the
amount of
trailer.
stuff.
Well, okay. So sort of my perspective on the whole movie. It's kind of like a 13-year-old's idea of what like a serial killer is.
Okay.
It's kind of what it feels like to me.
And that's the thing I like about Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2 is it feels like they're very like young people movies, but like in a good way. Like they have a young person energy to them and a young person sense of humor, but in a good way. It's not like it doesn't feel condescending, like it's better than that type of humor, but it's very alive, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Freaky had that too, but Freaky kind of had like more of a I would say immature aspects to it.
Yeah.
Like that sounds kind of high horsey, but that's not really necessarily what I mean. It just didn't feel like it offered a whole lot.
Well, I remember when we watched it, I was saying like, well, because like there's this whole thing with like the main girl who eventually Vince Vaughn and her like switch bodies. Like they tried to set up that she's like this like outcast, and it feels very much.
Oh yeah.
Like you just. For like a 2020 audience member,
you don't buy
it at all.
You're supposed to believe that this girl is like a nerd and ugly and all these things, and you're like, because they're trying to play her off as this nerdy, quirky kind of like ugly girl who like gets confidence in the end, and because she gets confidence, then she's pretty. It's like It feels out of touch.
It feels very like 80s movie.
Yeah,
cliche,
and there's another
like,
character. I'm gonna preface by saying, it's not the fact that he is gay that I don't like it. It is the fact that it's the most stereotypical. He's like the best friend, like gay friend, and it's like, if you're gonna have a gay character, just like whatever, he likes guys, but this is like, hey girls, I'm gay, like so over the top, and it's just like
I think there's more to it. Like the funniest part of that character is already in the trailer when he's just like, you're black, I'm gay, we are so dead, because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would be cool to kind of play on like horror movie tropes like that.
There's like self-awareness.
Play into those stereotypes within the genre, because it's. What's funny is, like, I hear the argument you made, and it's kind of funny, because we talked about Not So a little bit. I hear the same argument with Not So about, like, the black character Not So named Tyrell, who is just a stereotype, and it's dumb because he's just a stereotype. But I think it's more complicated than that. I think the reason with Freaky, it's like, yes, he is a stereotype, but they don't really do anything.
My problem is I can't figure out the tone of this movie. I can't tell if it's trying to play off those stereotypes or if it's trying to be something else.
And you don't really know. It doesn't feel self-aware in the sense where it's like self-aware that it is a stereotypical character. It just feels like it's just a stereotypical.
But I also feel like the actor who they chose to play him like elevates the material.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion.
Okay. I
feel like that with a lot, especially like Vince Vaughn, especially.
Well, okay, I agree with that, but I felt like both the writing and the performance for the gay character didn't really work for me because it didn't feel like.
I mean, he's mostly the character is mostly just a vehicle for.
I think
jokes.
if you could have exaggerated the dialogue that was already written, it could have been funny.
Yeah.
But it felt like a very cookie cutter. Nothing exaggerated about it. He is a stereotypical gay character where I feel like.
Yeah.
Not to just like compare our own movies, it feels a little bit up my own ass, to be honest, but like with Tyrell in Not So Amazing, it feels more exaggerated, and we kind of lean into the stereotype and make fun of the fact that the character exists in itself, and I felt like they didn't really do that with Freaky. And I mean, that's unfair of me to assume that's what they were going to do, but I feel like in 2020, if you are going to have an extremely stereotypical gay character, I think you should just do something with it, have fun with it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there were some funny like jokes. I mean, I think the funniest thing they do with that is like the part of the movie. Again, are we just talking about spoilers?
Yeah.
Like the part where he has a fucking what's her face, tied, the girl who's the serial killer.
Oh yeah, she's
tied up, and then his mom comes home, and
that was funny.
It's like you're many things, but the one thing you are not is straight. It was like
I liked that part.
Because the gay character was like, me and this girl are role playing, and the girl was the serial killer, and she's like.
And it was kind of like a joke, like for a second he was gonna try to come out as being straight.
Yeah, and the mom was like, no.
I mean, it's like a funny like subversion thing.
But I think you watch the trailer and you see that line and it kind of gives you false expectations for what they're gonna do with that character.
Yeah. So it's weird because it's like in some scenes they're very self-aware, but then when it comes to like where they have to take it seriously, it feels like an 80s movie script.
What do you guys think of that one scene? I don't even have to say anything.
What? I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't remember a whole lot. I'm not trying to be a dick.
I am struggling to remember stuff.
When
are you talking about the
Vince Vaughn kissed the dude?
I thought you were talking about the brief anal sex scene on the hood of the car.
Oh, yeah. So it was the scene.
That's where
Vince Vaughn.
So the girl is in Vince Vaughn's body, and then you have this teenage high school boy who's like making out with Vince Vaughn, and it's like
It's like what?
He says, I don't care what you look like on the outside, you're still you on the inside, which...
Yeah, it was kind of cringy.
Okay, my problem with that...
Oh, you know what? I just kind of thought of the politics behind that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, look at Borat 2.
Kyle.
Look at fucking Borat 2, where people are like, oh, it's, you know, what's his name?
Sasha?
Sasha
Baron Cohen?
No.
Sausage Baron.
The lawyer.
The lawyer?
Donald Trump's lawyer. Or attorney.
Giuliani.
People are like, that's a little girl that he's hitting on, and they're making him look bad. He's a pervert and a rapist. You take an adult man. Yes, there's a fucking girl on the inside, but an adult man's body, someone who's like 40 plus, and you have a teenage high school boy kiss/make out with this man. It's like, wow, that's so progressive. It's like, what? Like, come on. You can't pick and choose. It's one or the other.
I don't really think that's what they were going for. I think it was... I mean, were you under the impression they were going for, like, a progressive message with him making out with Vince
No,
Vaughn?
they were trying to do, like, a...
'Cause I thought it was more...
It's like who you are on the inside, and, like...
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I have lots to say about that message and how it's kind of doesn't make any fucking sense in this movie. But as far as that scene, I think it was meant to just be, like...
It's kind of creepy.
Well, it's meant to just be, like, a joke. But it is...
But they don't play it as a joke.
No,
Yeah, they play
it very seriously.
Romantically, and it's
Yeah.
like...
Yeah.
And it's not uncomfortable because it's two men. It's uncomfortable because it's a man and a boy.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
Yeah.
high school boy and a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, the actor is, like, 23.
Might as well just watch...
But it's supposed to be...
People didn't
like
give a shit about that when it was Giuliani and the girl when she was actually 22.
Very true.
So why is it different in this case where it's like but the actor was really blah blah blah.
Because it's gay,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't know. Do you see a bunch of people, like, online? Like...
But here's the thing. No one has a problem with it. You read all the shit about Borat 2 and it's like,
No, I get what you
whoa, whoa, whoa. No one's saying whoa, whoa, whoa about this.
Well...
I think from their perspective,
I
they
find
view
it
as real.
hard to compare both of them
Okay.
because one is like completely fiction and the other one is supposed to be like
Well,
construed as reality.
You could say that both are fiction, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, if
you know what I mean. Like
It's
as
trying
far
to be
as-
played
as
as
far
real.
as like the perception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the people who criticize Borat 2 view it as it's real. If they had a brain and spent 2 minutes looking into it, they'd
Yeah.
realize it's just as fictional as
Yeah.
freaky. So I get what you're saying, but like I can see why, from their small nut brain perspective, that it would come across as...
Yeah.
Sorry, that actually makes me mad because all you have to do is look into it for a couple seconds
Yeah.
to know that it's like bullshit.
I also want to say that, like,
the Giuliani
I am,
thing.
like, I really want to know other peepers. I want to know other people's perspective on things if, like, we all have a very similar thought. So, like, in the comments, I want to see other people's perspectives on things if you have a different view.
No, I
Because
get
I definitely want to, like, see what other people have to
Yeah,
say.
I mean, I definitely was not upset or mad about the Vince Vaughn scene.
I was just kind of grossed out.
I honestly didn't care. I was like, I just thought it was like, I wish it was funnier.
Yeah.
I feel like because
I think they drew it out a little too long.
it's too long and it's too like mushy and corny. I think if you did that, it could have been more like ironic and funny.
Yeah.
right.
And just if you want, that's the thing, like, if people are gonna find it romantic, whatever, let it be that. Let it become that. Don't try to make it that.
Let me clarify one last time before I'm taking out a contest. I did not think it was gross
Out of
because
contest.
they were gay. I think it's gross because it's a high school boy and an adult man. So don't do that.
You guys want to watch Call Me by Your Name after this?
No.
Oh, okay. I love you, Kyle.
This movie works, I think, in the context of like you throw it on. There's nothing else to watch. Maybe you and a group of friends, you had maybe there's some alcohol involved or whatever, and you're kind of like watching it, half enjoying it, half kind of like making fun of it. Kind of like, again, like a B movie. Like I
Yeah.
kind of related to like when we all watched like Night of the Living Dead. We were enjoying it and also kind of making fun of it at the same time because it's kind of
Laughing with it and at it, kind of varying.
So
back and
yeah,
forth.
so it's like watching it in a social setting. I think is the best way to
I would
watch
agree.
this
I
movie.
think
And maybe that's what the director intended, you know?
Yeah,
I
but
think
I think
the-
sometimes it's
the-
hard to tell.
The
Yeah.
biggest problem, like, overall, if you were just the overall biggest problem for me is the believability, because you take something like Happy Death Day, like, you believe, like, the girls in college and, like, the guy, and you, like, believe everything. You take this, you don't believe that the girl's, like, a loner, like, nerd, unattractive, everybody finds her that
No.
way, whatever. You don't believe the, like, the guys, like, I just
No,
not,
I get what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like all the like the cool guys all have fucking Letterman jackets. Again, it's like someone.
An 80s movie.
It's like someone who hasn't been to high school since 1983.
Yeah.
And they're writing a script and they're like in their 40s. And
I mean, to be fair though, a lot, like 90% of movies that have like high school stuff in it feel like that nowadays. Like nobody really. I feel like, but that's the thing. That's what's
Some-
so weird
some-
about it.
Although we know it can be done
Because
with like 8th grade.
Yes, exactly. But I'm saying even this movie has moments like the most accurate representation of high school I've ever seen is in this movie, and it happens.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
3 seconds, and it's the part where she's in the hallway and that guy just like screams.
He just barks at her. He's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah."
Yeah, and then it's just like woo or
Yeah.
whatever. That represents my entire high school experience right there in like 5 seconds. But then like. So, like, that's what's frustrating.
And then you
most
get
about this
something
movie.
that's so outdated and so
Yes,
out of
because there's
touch.
moments where I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is exactly, this is a good representation of high school. And then there's really cool moments towards the end with the main character and stuff. So there's so many moments that shine. And then, it's like every other scene, it feels like they kind of forget what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's like... Well, it's disappointing because so much of the movie, like when it wants to take itself seriously, is like based on this whole idea that like the main character doesn't have any confidence because people pick on her because she's the mascot of like again it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Why, if she's such
it
a
doesn't even
loser,
make sense.
Why is she the mascot?
It doesn't even make any sense in the fucking 80s movie context.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's kind of quirky and nerdy. And again, nerdy. How is she nerdy again? I don't even fucking remember.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Fuck,
really
it doesn't make any sense. So it's like when you don't believe that at all, like then most of the movie's emotional core just like falls on its face.
And they also don't really do anything with Vince Vaughn's
The
character.
police officer.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Oh,
The fucking police.
That was the most unbelievable. She walked into a room with a gun and she's like,
Yeah, remember what I was saying at first? I was like, is the twist gonna be that she's just like
faking being a police officer?
because like
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like a Scooby-Doo thing where they were gonna like pull her fucking face off and it was gonna be like a bad guy because it felt like so clearly.
Old Man Jenkins.
Yeah.
You remember when she walked around the desk and was like, "I'm a police officer."
Yeah.
Like and not to mention, she literally does nothing.
Yeah.
In the whole movie,
Well,
even the
not-
end.
It's
she's
not
like,
even her. It's just like the majority of the cops. Remember when there's that party and they're like, "Everybody get out!" and the cop just fucking fires a gun in the air.
and you're like,
Like, what kind of fucking cops are these?
What the hell? Yeah,
But
that was.
her especially stood out. It was.
She was bad.
It felt like the sister character and They Came Together, where she was just like Amy Poehler brought home Paul Rudd, and she was just like that sister role who was like, I'm stern and I'm gonna watch out for you, and just like, I don't know about this one.
But she does nothing.
But that's what the character felt like. It felt like a parody of itself, kind of, and like she's just a sister who's a cop, and she just
Who's the
lives,
shittiest cop of
and
all
she just
time.
lives with them, but she's a cop. Like what?
Yeah.
How does it make
But the sister's also more reserved than the cop. I don't fucking know what they were trying to do there.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it might sound.
I think it sounds more
kind-
interesting than it actually is.
Well, and it sounds lame, I think, to the way we're criticizing this movie, because I mean, I definitely think that me and Micah might have had like too high of expectations for this. But I mean, still, there's just a lot of little things that you're just like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
The things that, the character traits and the things that you could tell they thought it made sense. And it
Well,
didn't
yeah,
make any
and what
sense.
I was kind of saying earlier is they don't, like Vince Vaughn, they don't try whatsoever to make that character relatable or like, not even like he needs to be relatable. He can be a horrible human being, but you never feel like you understand who he is, why he's the way he is. There's just like when she is in his body, he wakes up and he's like in some like disgusting
Crack house.
That's
like,
that's what I mean by
who
like
is this
a
person?
13-year-old's idea of what a 13-year-old girl's idea of what a
well, yeah, and there's
serial
this like
killer
fantasy element that like they never talk about.
is. Right.
It's so
And,
weird.
well, I remember we were kind of making fun of the movie when like they first switch bodies and the teenage girl who's supposed to be Vince Vaughn in the teenage girl's body wakes up for the first time, and it's like the whole joke is that she's not acting like herself, but it's almost played like the character forgot how to be human. It's just like
it's like
Picking up things and just yeah. Yeah.
those are expensive glasses.
I don't know what else you guys have to say.
I don't know. In my opinion, I think if you've got nothing to watch, and if this is on Amazon Prime one day and it's like $2 to rent, throw it on. If your friends are horror fans, throw it on. Crack open a couple brewskis and just kind of just like watch it and make fun of it. There are cool moments that are entertaining and parts of it are well shot and shit, but just
it's like one of those things where you'll be like laughing and making fun of the movie, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, this is actually really cool, and then you're kind of back in the same original boat you were in
just
after.
like a laid back.
I want to make a
watch.
weird comparison.
Okay, you always do that.
Yes. To Not So Amazing, and I don't want us to be like,
Yeah.
not so amazing, not so amazing, not so amazing. What I like about your character in Not So Amazing is it's like, I've had this, like, I think you told me it wasn't, but I had this while watching it, I was like, oh, could his character be gay? That's cool. Because, like, you kind of get those vibes a little bit.
Okay.
But it's not, it's like, oh, he could be gay, that's cool. And then it's like, that's it. And it's
because my character isn't, I'm gay.
You're not like, hey girl, I'm gay.
I have like a life, a personality before that comes into the conversation.
Right. It's not like inherently like gay character I hate. It's like make me like that person. Yeah. Like
I mean that's
I feel
the whole
like
critique of that that kind of like character.
Do you have an example of where it's done right?
Where it's done right?
Besides not so.
Yeah.
They don't get it right very often. That's the thing. I feel like that's what's weird. Is it kind of and I'll just say it. It's not just fictional characters too. Like I think I've been critical of people who let their sexuality, their politics, their whatever, be their personality. Yeah. So it's like, and I think, and that's kind of a larger conversation with that gay character in the movie that I won't really get into, but I like it when humans and characters have a personality before you start hearing about who they want to have sex with.
I can just envision a scenario in a movie where it's just like super casual and it's brought up once and it's whatever, where you could just be, this girl could be like, oh, I like that guy, like, is he single? And then the person would just be like, oh no, he's actually gay, and be like, oh, okay, dang it, never mind. And then like, that's it. That's like...
Maybe. I don't know. Might be good.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't need to be a whole big thing.
I haven't seen the movie, but I'm pretty sure that movie that came out a few years ago, Booksmart, where one of the main characters is a lesbian, and it's not. There's not like the movie doesn't.
I've heard that.
Halt to a screeching halt to be like, hey everyone, did you hear? This character likes women, and I know there's probably plenty of gay people that would like agree with you. It's like, oh yeah, Jesus Christ, another character where it's like being gay is their only personality trait.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, I can think of an example of like, I know it sounds kind of weird to say like my favorite gay character in a movie, but like I don't know. I like when the first thing that comes to mind is, and I know you haven't seen this, but Scott Pilgrim, fucking.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being... Oh, yeah, there was a gay kid. See, that's the thing. I don't even remember. I just love the movie. And it's just like,
Scott's roommate, played by Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, he's great.
He's hilarious in that movie. He's
there's one. That's one of the best, examples there.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
I'm sure there's...
He has, like, a personality out. Obviously, like, it comes into play, but it's not, like... Again, the movie isn't just, like... See what we're doing? We're so progressive. Wow. I want everybody to just like pray to the Bible.
Like,
you know what I mean?
if your way
pray to the Bible. What the fuck am I saying?
If your way of thinking or your way of fucking or your way of if just don't let something like that define who you are. There's so much more to a person than like
who they're sleeping with,
and who their God is, and like
who they voted for.
And who they voted for. Like, come on, man.
Let's see. Let's give it a letter grade. I would give it, like, a C-.
What'd you give it on Letterboxd? 2, or?
It was 2.5, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. One of the writers who wrote this movie also wrote,
Mad Max Fury Road?
No.
What else did he write?
I think he either wrote the script or was one of the co-writers on a fucking Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Which just makes a lot of sense.
Have you seen that?
No.
Not a big fan of that.
It's another one of those movies that the concept looks more interesting than the execution.
It definitely is. It actually has kind of the same problems as this movie, I would say. I would recommend Freaky to people who really, really, really liked both Happy Death Days. But even as a person who likes those movies and doesn't really like Freaky, but still, there's a chance. And I would just say, we'll go into it expecting to have some fun and not take it too seriously.
Cheesy 80s movies, kind of get that vibe, so maybe you like that.
Yeah. But wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But
if someone threw it on, I might
definitely not my
watch
favorite
it.
of the year. Definitely not.
If you're desperate, basically.
So fucking.
Speaking of desperation,
moving on.
Fatman.
Talked about another movie. What?
This is the shittiest transition of all time.
He's desperate because people don't believe in him
Speaking
anymore.
of one-word movie titles to start with F.
Fuck. Oh.
Famine. Do we need a second? I feel like we're just off our game.
Sure.
One eternity later.
You know, I don't know why we're doing a Christmas episode, considering I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Fatman?
Yes, we're talking about this fat man. I saw him outside of Walmart. He was carrying 2 bags. One of them had a horse head in it because it was sticking out. You could see like the ear. And I was like, "Hey!" I rolled down my window. I was like, "Hey!" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "I'm from the UK."
What was
And
in
I was like, "Oh, okay."
What was in the other bag? You said he was carrying 2 bags.
I don't know because it was closed.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Do some visual effects to just make a little bit come out and cut right in.
Just a bubble.
This is like the 4th time you've like, just do some visual effects. Like, I'm gonna waste my fucking time.
Make Kyle's head explode.
Just hire ILM to like do the visual effect.
Hey, Gage, I think it would be really cool if, like, during our podcast, you could see, like, helicopters flying outside. Can you make that happen? Sure.
That made me laugh.
Jared Leto? Holy shit.
So this movie stars our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Mel Gibson.
Gail Mibson.
And
He's so fucking good in
he
this.
plays Santa
I'd fuck
Claus.
him.
Yeah, he plays Santa Claus.
You have one little hair sticking out of your beanie. It's just funny.
Out of your penis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like Bad Santa.
I have a joke to tell you off the air.
Okay.
I won't tell you now because it's too stupid.
Okay. I like Bad Santa. I like movies that kind of... Like an R-rated, like, gritty version.
Like Saving Private Ryan.
Directed by Tarantino.
Yeah. So I was excited because I think it could be fun. I think the trailer promised quite a bit, and the movie didn't really capitalize on any of the ideas. It's funny, I feel like it's just going to be a lot of the same shit we said about Freaky.
Yeah. It really hit it home with this one.
I feel like this one, the potential was like...
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking right there.
Exactly.
The movie should write itself.
Mel Gibson is so fucking good in this. You take him out of this, I would say this movie is borderline unwatchable, but he's like
well,
too
also
good.
the assassin character.
He
is
doesn't.
fun.
Yeah, he's great, but Mel Gibson doesn't deserve to be in this movie. Like his performance in this is like well above
like it feels like in the pitch meeting you could have just been like Santa Claus but Logan. And fuck, you have like there's the ingredients. Go make something. Mel Gibson, are you kidding me? Like you had so many tools.
He's so good.
And it's unfortunate because they just kind of ended up making a Santa Claus movie.
Yeah, they just brought in.
They didn't really know what they were. They didn't know what they wanted to do.
They just brought in
movie.
elves in the military and like spent way too much time on that, and it was retarded.
I guess spoilers for Fatman. if there's like, I mean, again, it's like Freaky. Like if you're watching this and you haven't seen either of these movies, I mean, the only thing we'd be spoiling is just really basic things that like happen in a movie. It's really not. There's nothing.
The beginning of this movie,
but still, warning.
The beginning of this movie was like the first 10 minutes. It takes a little bit to get going, as like far as like what the movie's up to, and then after that you start to be like, oh, okay, all right.
It looks like it knows what it's doing.
Like
I said that
like
exactly.
in the first act, it starts building towards this thing that you think it's going towards, and then there's just a moment in the middle of the movie, the second act, where are we talking spoilers?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just
Okay.
Every time he does that, we're like, okay, spoilers, and then Kyle's like, are we talking spoilers?
Yeah, spoilers for Fat Man, but I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. There's not a whole lot to spoil. Go ahead, Kyle, you're good. I already know what you're talking about. You're talking about the elf reveal, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like, the first act, it kind of gets you on board and makes it seem as though it knows exactly what it's doing. And then one scene it kind of just reveals its cards, and you're like,
derails the whole
it was
movie.
bluffing.
Well, the rest of the movie, like everything, even shit after that, it's sort of playing with this idea that like, oh, his name is Chris, and he delivers gifts, so it's like if the movie stuck to that concept of like
A realistic version.
a realistic and everything that they're presenting to you, like it kind of is like maybe more of a wild coincidence. Like that's a lot. It was setting up something that came off way more clever, and then as soon as we just go he's talking about like in the background you hear about like, oh, the elves, and it's like you could have done something more creative with that, like, oh, maybe it's this like elves is just a nickname for some other weird thing that he works with, and then it's literally just revealed, oh yeah, they're fucking elves, and then they look like elves from Tim Allen, the Tim Allen
exactly
movies.
It's like a huge reveal, like they hold on Mel Gibson and this other guys, they're walking into this like workshop, and you're like, what the fuck, and then like it cuts. And it's just
they just have bells on their shit. They have,
and you're like
they look like they, yeah.
So the whole thing about this movie, it's like it's cool because it's a nitty gritty like realistic version of Santa. You know, it's real dirty and not like sexually dirty, but it's
he's
like
working
gritty.
with the military,
and then it's just like fantasy elves, and it derails the entire concept.
Well,
of the
they
movie.
didn't even do anything.
They don't do anything with it.
They don't even like make the elves like. They don't do anything with the R rating. They could have made all the elves like assholes or something, or they're all like really
that would have been
mean
hilarious.
What if it was this like weird like cult of people that like, again, elves could just be a nickname, and maybe they're,
or just don't do elves at all, because like I'm not watching this movie for elves. There's no children watching this movie. Why are there elves in it?
And again, there's like a couple really obvious jokes about like
sugar and
that don't even feel like they belong in this. It feels like a completely different movie.
It feels like something out of like the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix.
Yes.
And you're like, what? I mean,
and it's like that's
I didn't think
that's
sugar.
That's not what we were doing in the beginning. No. That's not what we were up to.
No. I'm watching this movie because of Mel Gibson, the R rating, and I wanted like a fucking violent ass Christmas.
You want to see fucking a grumpy Santa Claus fucking shoot people, and we get that for like 2 minutes.
And to be honest, I was really hoping you found out that he wasn't like he wasn't actually Santa Claus. It was just
that would have been way more creative and clever and interesting.
Some guy who like delivers presents.
Like
to
he's
kids
playing the
fun.
role of Santa, but he's not actually
in
like
the real world.
Santa Claus.
And then this guy Walton Goggins and this kid are like taking out their frustrations on this guy who actually just isn't Santa Claus, and that could have been like a very interesting.
That would have been way more clever
metaphor for them. Like,
but as soon as they just reveal that, they're magical elves, it's like, well, then it's just fucking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of grumpy and dirty looking.
And then like a few scenes later, it's like they have reindeer, and I'm just like, man.
And if they actually maybe did something with that, but they don't. They just they get killed.
They're just there to exist.
Yeah. It reminds me of, I said this while watching the movie. I mean, I like Logan. I'm not shit-talking Logan, but it does remind me of Logan in the sense where it is trying to be a Logan-esque movie in the sense where, you know, it's old Santa Claus. He's having a rough life. He's tired and all these things. He's grumpy, and his life isn't the same as it used to be. And the movie is trying to be its own thing, just like Logan was trying to be its own thing, and then Logan just kind of became an X-Men movie by the third act, which is kind of why I don't love Logan like other people, is because it became what it was trying not to be towards the end, and I felt like this did that exact same thing. It became a Santa Claus movie, like a Tim Allen-esque Santa Claus movie with a couple F-bombs and some blood.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I didn't.
And then there's so that's the thing though too, is like, besides all that, what you're really there to see, at least judging from the marketing and everything, you think you're gonna get like gritty Santa, and then there's this assassin
who's hilarious.
You think you're gonna get like them trying to kill each other for the majority of the movie, and they just don't fucking deliver. And by the time they finally decide to do something with it, it's like the last like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and that
and it lasts
cool.
it's cool, but it lasts like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah. And then, like... Yeah, I mean, that should have been the entire movie. And it seemed like in the second act, they literally had no idea what to do, so they had to throw in the military and the elf shit, which completely, like, kind of use the word derail, kind of completely
And then there's the shit with with his
kid.
So then you realize, oh shit, the majority of this movie is like Santa's business issues.
This should have been like a 40,
and it's
45
boring
minute
as
movie.
fuck. Yeah, this would have worked way better as like a 40-minute short film, and I still think, like we've talked about this, I think you could cut this movie together into a 40-minute short, and it actually would work way better.
I think there's a solid 1.5-minute movie of an assassin taking out Santa Claus, but they decided to just not focus on it because they just didn't know what to do with it.
You take any awesome concept, and I see this so often, you take any awesome concept and you put in the military and make it way too big for its own good, it doesn't work.
Like, I mean, why didn't... It would have been cool if, like, Walton Goggins hired a couple people to go, like, to kill him or something, and they kill his wife or something, and it's like...
Yeah, shit.
Like, fuck me, there's so many awesome things you can do. Even if it's just, like, a basic revenge movie, but with, like, a Santa Claus Christmas
and
element.
then suddenly
his
wife gets killed, and suddenly he's John Wick, and he's just like...
And also, some of the action, while some of it is cool, it's not directed particularly well.
It looks great.
I think it looks good. I do think the movie looks good. I mean, I think that, like, some of the lackluster story beats definitely take away from, like, the technical elements, because you just kind of get bored, and then you're like...
I mean, the movie,
whatever.
like definitely had, like, it doesn't have the biggest budget in the world, but it's shot well.
Some of the snow stuff looks really good. The end fight looks really good between them.
It's just, like, as far as, like, the actual, like, action directing, it's very just, like, walking up and shooting.
I mean,
kind of stumbling around. You know, it's not...
It's almost like a Christmas Western at the end, where they're like...
That's what the whole movie should have been.
And I mean, the part of the movie that, like, it pissed me off, but it actually had, like a really visceral emotional reaction, is in that end fight when he shoots Mel Gibson in the face, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then Kyla was like, or one of you were just like, oh yeah, he's fine. And I was like, if they do that, that would just be so lame. And then he's just alive because magic, and he's Santa. Yeah. And I'm just thinking...
Don't they feed him sugar or something?
I don't know. Like... That was, like, violent as fuck.
Like, you see it. It comes out the back of his head. He gets shot in the fucking head.
Like, no, I don't want him to die. It pissed me off, but I mean, like, have some courage to stick to what you were doing, because they don't even have a clever way of writing it out. They're just like, oh yeah, he's alive because Santa.
And the majority of the movie, other than this last few minutes that are cool, it's like, it's the military shit, and it's Santa, like, dealing with, oh shit, financially, how are we gonna... Like, it's not particularly that interesting. And then you have what could be an interesting arc, which is it's an interesting arc on paper, the whole relationship between him and his supposed to be Mrs. Santa. The problem with that is they complete the arc before they start it. It's like it's like over before it begins.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It doesn't feel like they are anywhere different.
So what the fuck was the point of this movie?
Yeah,
basically how you feel about it.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't. What does he learn from the military stuff? Like, why was that even in the story?
It literally is. Doesn't make it just there for no reason.
I have no idea what he learns by the end of the movie. I mean, he goes to talk.
Because you even think they're gonna set up that since the military. Oh, okay. Well, he'll have the military to help protect him against the assassin. But they just go out like fucking bitches.
Yeah.
Like they're out there, they just get killed. So then it's like, what the fuck is the point? You felt like you just wasted our fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, like I feel like I didn't realize how much this movie pissed me off until now.
Have we watched a movie?
But I feel like a fucking 10-year-old could have written a better version of this movie.
Well, it's frustrating because we see how good it could have been.
Right? The premise should write itself. It's right there in fucking front of you. Mm-hmm. And, like, they just do literally nothing with it for the majority of it.
Every scene Mel Gibson is in, he, like, absolutely steals. But the problem is, he's, like, I feel like in half of the movie, like 60%, 50% of the movie.
Yeah, that's my problem with movies like Freaky and Fat Man. You reel me in because you get me so interested in the idea, and then and then you just like
They just have no idea what to do with it.
you don't know, and that's the thing. It's like you need. I don't know. Never mind. I won't say that quote, but I don't want to make things political. But yeah, I mean, you need people. You need idea people, and you need execution people.
Yeah.
So and I'm not saying like the writers needed to get other people to help, but I mean like I mean you have great ideas, and sometimes you need help fleshing those ideas out. And I think that some people, you know, and I'm the opposite. Like sometimes I'm like I don't have any ideas. Like I'll write something about food. Fuck it. But like I don't have any ideas. So that's I think these are two guys, like brothers, who made this movie. So, you know, I think maybe they need to bring in maybe somebody else to help them like flesh out their ideas.
They're both on the concept side.
They're both on the concept side. So I don't know.
I honestly I don't think this movie should have been a feature film.
I mean, it would have been a really solid 10-minute short, I think. But I mean, I still think that the problem is you could edit everything down into a short film and make it work. But I think that if you had done different shit and like actually changed what the story was, it could have been really a solid hour-and-a-half movie.
The thing is I don't think that if it was like, I think it'd be great at 40 minutes. That's where I would be like, oh, this is great. And my problem is I don't think Mel Gibson or any other actor is like, oh, a 40-minute movie. So that's my problem with that.
I do think Walton Goggins is really good too.
He's so good.
Walton Goggins is a great actor.
There are some really funny moments with him. A joke that I wish they kind of like kept going with was like the whole like thing about like
shooting just
yeah, there's that scene where like he's like, hey, where do the letters to Santa get sent? And the guy just tells him, and then he feels that he did fucking take him out.
One thing that I thought was hilarious is he has a guy's head pinned to a desk and he has his gun on top of his head. He's like, write down the address for me. And he's like trying to feel for the pen. He's like, to your right, to your right.
That was funny.
To your left.
Well, and he's so deadpan too, which is why I liked him, because he's just...
The whole movie feels like they're setting things up that they just throw out the window.
Yeah.
So...
Have we watched a 2020 movie this year where like we talked about it on here and we were like, wow... That was...
No, I feel like we've kind of had similar issues with a lot of movies. I mean, you guys like The Devil All the Time, but like I mean, we liked Guns Akimbo. I think it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But Guns Akimbo, we kind of had an opposite experience where it kind of won us over.
Well,
but Project Power is another example.
Where it's the complete opposite.
Where, like, again, you have a good concept and the execution isn't
that's a common thing amongst, like, indie films, where it's like, you have a fantastic premise, but the execution doesn't always really deliver.
Right. That's always tough though. It's always frustrating when you get like a really good concept. I mean, I would rather have like a really dumb concept that
there's a lot of movies out there that like,
don't take this offensively, but waffles.
No, I mean, I'm trying. Sorry, I feel like I've drawn too many comparisons in this episode to our own movies. It sounds really pretentious.
This is a lot like The Apology.
Yeah. No. See, what we did better in our movie is this. Like, I'm trying not to...
I mean, but I think it's interesting. That's what we're
learning about ourselves as we're talking
it's what we quote-unquote have over other film discussion podcasts is that, like, we have
personal experience
we have,
making
not to be like,
movies.
we have insider experience, but we understand the struggle and, like, you know, how to... what they do behind the scenes. Like, to an extent. Yeah. But I think that's what makes us different, I feel like.
And this movie can't use the excuse of like, oh, we just didn't have the budget to do. No, you had the fucking budget.
Oh, like, I think my problem is they like blew their budget.
Yeah.
You should have kept it more contained.
Right, exactly.
Because I didn't need
rent less tanks and maybe spend more time like on action sequences and amongst.
Oh golly.
Yeah, I know. I mean, gosh, it's just frustrating because it had a lot of potential, but. I think I would have to say I liked Fatman more than Freaky, simply because Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins' performances are super good, and I liked what it was trying to be more. Even though I think Freaky can sometimes execute what it's trying to do far better than Fatman.
See, I'm the other way around. I think I would prefer to watch Freaky over Fatman.
I would prefer to watch Fatman over Freaky. I would give Fatman a C.
But I think Fatman frustrated me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And in a way...
I saw the potential way more with Fatman.
Yeah, and in a way I mean that as like a good thing.
And with Freaky, I think I expected less.
Yeah, I expected more from from Freaky, I think, at first. But once both movies started, I kind of shifted.
Yeah.
Once Fat Man started, I was like, okay, you know what? I can see what this could be. And Freaky, after about 10 minutes, I was kind of realizing, all right, it's not going to do what I'm hoping it's
Everything
gonna do.
Mel Gibson did was so fucking manly. He opened a drawer.
I know, yeah, he opened... Like,
and it's like...
We were making jokes, like, there's nothing Mel Gibson can do that's, like, feminine. He's just a fucking beast of a man.
Yeah.
Isn't there a movie where he has like a tutu on or something? Or
I don't know. Maybe.
oh wait,
Mel Gibson's
what's that
great.
fucking movie? Isn't he in that movie with Will Ferrell and?
Oh, Daddy's Home?
Yeah.
Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn, the stars of both of these movies, are in a movie together called Dragged Across Concrete. You guys should watch it. Micah would hate it. Because it's really long.
That's a director you really like.
Okay, just because a movie's long doesn't mean I won't fucking like it. I don't...
But you'll hate the movie.
Yes, I will. Not because it's long, but because Bone Tomahawk and Dragged Across Concrete are like, we're gritty and we're violent. That's our whole shtick.
Dragged Across Concrete is definitely my least favorite from Zoller, but
You really like,
I like it.
what's that one movie?
Brawl.
Brawl.
Yeah, and Cell Block.
I definitely really like Brawl. I would like to watch Brawl again at some point.
You haven't seen Brawl yet? I know you didn't like Bone Tomahawk, but I know you would like Brawl more, just because it's not a Western.
Okay.
I like it more than Bone Tomahawk.
I mean, does
I
it
think
take place in a
every-
prison?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
several prisons.
Already,
prisons.
that sounds, like, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you, like, it has the same flow as Bone Tomahawk.
Could it be animated? Like, if you just, like animate the
No.
character? Fuck.
Can I have codes?
So
Can it take place in the 80s?
We should watch it, and I think that would be fun to talk about. I don't think you'll love it, but I think that, like, it has a lot of the elements from Bone Tomahawk, but it's, like, not a Western. The excitement stuff starts way earlier than Brawl. Like, Bone Tomahawk doesn't get, like, crazy until, like, the last 15
Maybe we
minutes.
we can use it as one of the episodes on our podcast.
You know, we really like the movies this episode when, like, immediately after, like, oh, you know what else has Vince Vaughn? You should watch this.
Yeah.
No, but we should talk about it for an episode. We should do Brawl for an episode.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Also,
It's like one of his favorite
I wanted
movies.
to ask your opinion because I also really want to do Inglourious Bastards because I've only seen it once.
you guys are gonna, like... I'm gonna have, like,
We have to
I'm
make
gonna have an orgasm.
But I also really want to watch Reservoir Dogs because I've only seen that once. Also.
All right, how about this? We'll do an episode where we talk about Brawl and Inglourious Bastards, and in return we can talk about Soul. And then
I think after.
Oh, okay.
I think after we're done recording this, we need
Soul
to, like,
and Wonder
we
Woman.
need to, like, start making, like, a backlog. Of,
Yeah, we do, because I think we did at first and we kind of just started winging it. Anyway, we have a lot of questions, so let's just...
Yeah, that's great. That
Batman,
sounded sarcastic. Wow, that's fucking great.
if you like Christmas movies and you like Mel Gibson, you can watch Fat Man. I think it's like $6 to
You'll get
like,
a good
buy.
laugh out of it. There's some really fun.
Yeah, you can
parts in
actually
it.
buy it on Amazon for like $6 or something. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, Christmas is over, so I don't know.
Unless
Not.
I mean, you know, some people believe that Christmas lasts.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah. So.
on the 12th day of shipment, my true love gave to me.
So when does it technically end? If it's the 25th is the first day.
Let's find out. You guys can talk about something as I look it up. I don't fucking know. First day of Christmas and 12 days are 25 December through the 5th of January.
Sick.
Is the last day.
Merry Christmas, fellas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So as long as you post this by the 5th, we're still a Christmas episode.
Yep. Technically, even though like all the radio stations, everything is just fuck it.
All right, New Year's Day.
Consumers' Christmas is over, but Christianity Christmas is still
Now
happening.
stores are like, we gotta put up the fucking
And
Valentine's
if
Day
you're
shit.
Jewish, I don't know.
Hanukkah.
enough.
There's a bunch of days. I don't know.
I don't
All
know
right,
anything
so-
about
So your
Hanukkah.
Christmas present to us was Q&A questions.
Which
Thank
we
you
love.
very much.
Continue to
Yeah, we got
ask
some
more.
solid fucking
These are
questions.
awesome questions.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
All right, so first question is, what are those little things in films that annoy you?
I actually thought about this,
Okay.
and I don't know exactly what to call it, but I feel like
Wait, who asked the question?
The Mota.
Okay.
fucking Moda, dude.
The Mota. We love you.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what to call it, but I feel like once I explain it, you'll be like, I know what you're talking about. You know, there's always just that thing in movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Where, like, okay, I'm trying to think of an example, but like, a character says something out loud that like you would never say out loud, but like,
Like you're by yourself searching for something and you're like, man, I need to find that that latex right now. And it's
Or something
why
that's
latex?
like, or like even more of an example, latex. I need to find my latex-free condoms right now. Lambskin? Oh yes. They actually do make those. Anyway, yeah, like someone's like, or like,
Yeah.
The more you do that, the longer it's gonna take him to say what he's have to say.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Just continue. Go.
You're just derailing yourself. Like, okay, let's say like, I'm a character in a movie, and like my dad's over there, and I think something bad happened to my dad, and out loud I go, Dad. And then I run. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, though?
Instead of just running over there.
Okay, like you would never fucking do that.
Now you just made me think of something that annoys me in movies.
Yeah.
When they have to... when
Dad,
the writer
Mom,
has to, like...
glasses.
Yeah, when the writer has to be like, oh, fuck, do you think the audience is going to know that they're related? Okay, let's just make them say mom, dad, son, and all of these. So, I really like you, Mom. Thanks, son. Hey, Mom.
Hey, what...
My Aunt Judy's here.
Sis.
Like,
sis fucking...
sis.
Hey, sis. Fucking grinds my
I love you,
gears.
little bro. Like, just shut the fuck up. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. I can put two and two together, or just, like... Who cares? It doesn't matter if I know.
The only time it's so poorly done is, like, in Freaky, where it's like, who the fuck is that police officer? Like... You like, unless they're sister. So as long as it's written well.
The one time they don't, like, it's the one example of a movie that does the complete opposite of it, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Is The Invisible Man. The guy and the daughter that she's staying with. Mm-hmm. Like, they never tell you who that guy is, if he's like a friend or like an ex-boyfriend or anything. And I was always like, can you just like say like, thanks, old friend, or something, so I know.
Thanks, fella.
Yeah, anyway.
Man, we go way
But it's
back.
not even, like, for character development. It's just, like, it doesn't even have to be a person. It's, like...
It's because it treats you like you're mentally handicapped, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that stupid.
But, like, no one would do that in real life.
Dad.
Oh, Dad. Oh, no.
Runs out of frame.
Yeah. Like, you can picture the fucking scene. You know what I mean?
That's my uncle.
Yeah.
It's my uncle.
I don't know. I think sometimes I get sick of the whole like formula. Formula. I don't know. Maybe like comedies or like dramedies or even like romances where it's just like we gotta have and you know, this is just more of like a critique of like structure of films, I guess. Like, I wish more people would find a more interesting way to tell a story and not the more like basic formula of how you tell a story and, you know, climax, arcs, all these things. When, you know, you get your basic like second act drop off where like it starts getting serious after the second act and it's like throws us into the third act and it's like, oh, this is actually a little bit more serious than you thought, and it's like, oh, there's some backstory here, oh, it's actually kind of getting sad, and then we have to like get through this like period of like
they're
sadness.
at their lowest point.
It's like,
It's called the low point.
yeah, no, exactly. That's I get annoyed by that because movies that don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Who feel like they need to, so they just shove it in there. Well, I think it's even more annoying is like the classic, and this is kind of what you're talking about too, but like I mean, they don't really do this too much anymore, but when they do it, it's like very like annoying, and like the liar revealed. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like somebody finds out that like somebody was not telling them the truth, and then it's like they have to get through this period of like, what the fuck, you lied to me, and then they, you know, again they run off or whatever.
And it's so like, yeah, it's so
because we've seen it
like,
a
obviously
bajillion
like when you
times.
make a movie you have to have like a flow to it, and it needs to reach this point where like the problems are starting to be addressed. I mean, again, like I'm not in my script that I'm writing right now, it happens, but it's just like more so how you do it. And I think and I think I take issue with the way characters in movies, like they write characters like they're unable to solve their problems. I can't stand the whole like misunderstanding or miscommunication,
And they just don't talk about it.
run away, and then there's this period of time where they don't see each other and they're like both bad, and it's like, no, I mean, people talk.
You can
know,
clarify like a problem most people have in movies with like one sentence.
Like I don't mind if like there's like low points in relationships and stuff, but I wish there was. I want movies where characters communicate like actual human beings. Obviously, there's misunderstandings and like there's clashes and people don't know, they don't say what they're actually trying to say. That's another thing I learned, in the last year, that like, in movies, people don't like say what they really mean. And I agree with that. But at a certain point, they do, and that can create conflict. And I wish we got more of that, where like you're thinking about a movie and you're like, why don't you just say this?
Yeah.
And then they say it and you're like, oh, that's like so satisfying, but that doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
There's actual communication, yet there's still a problem. I would like to see more of that, where it's like, just fucking like the characters that you're just like, why? If you just said this, then the miscommunication would be understood. It's very annoying.
But plot,
but story, that would be a critique of the whole movie itself. You have to change your entire movie.
Yeah.
Still, it annoys me.
Here's another thing this is a very specific thing. Anything in a movie that revolves around like if it's a main focus of like people like who they're in the business of selling like weed, I just don't care about.
Yeah.
Ralph Seppi. I just don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
I mean,
like The Gentleman is like a perfect
I like that
example.
movie, but I was even like, this
like,
feels a little
fucking
bit like
really
like a little not as modern as it could be.
I just don't care. There's just not. I
think that's actually kind of the joke, maybe a joke in Gentleman, where like the fact that he's a pot dealer is like kind of ridiculous in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't know.
really
There's just nothing for me. There's just nothing compelling about that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, like that's my whole like. Every Kevin Smith movie that he makes now has to have like pot humor in it, and I'm just like, it's just not.
But even when it's played for like a serious drama thing, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's just like that.
Like literally, even if they just change it to like cocaine or something, I was like, all right. But fucking weed, like they don't give a shit. And also, it's becoming legal.
Yeah, it feels like childish. I think.
Yeah.
It's like pot. Oh, smoke pot.
Oh look, he's got to hide the weed from the cops, and he's
I
don't
think
care.
mine would be, and they have to do with animated movies specifically. One is like that whole trope, and this one says what are those little things in film, but I guess this is a much broader thing. But whatever, is like the whole, I don't know what to call this, but the whole like. Inside Out, Emoji Movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet thing, where they're like, Inside Out, we're inside a brain with all these cool things, and the Emoji Movie, we're inside a phone with all these cool things. Wreck-It Ralph 2, we're inside the internet with all these cool things.
Definitely seems to be an animated movie like trope.
I think I have an issue with like any movie that tries to make the internet like a.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Like, oh, the internet, isn't this modern?
Yeah, and then the other thing, this one specifically...
What about Osmosis Jones, though?
I don't know. I saw it once in science class.
Okay. It's got Bill Murray.
That was also when it wasn't a trope, and that's from like 2002. Now it's like, oh, we gotta put them... they gotta have all these like colorful characters inside this fancy land inside something small.
We're gonna go inside Candy Crush. Whoa.
Yeah, fucking kill me. And then the other thing, this is a joke that I've mostly heard in animated movies. In fact, I've only heard it in animated movies. But just in general, the same almost word-for-word jokes reused in comedy movies over and over. Hold on, let me say one. I saw this in the Lego movie, Big Hero 6, and I want to say like Scoob or something, where they're like in the middle of a car chase and he puts on his blinker and he's like, what are you doing? You're in a car chase. And they're like, it's a force of habit. Fucking stop. It's not funny. I saw it 3 times already. Kill yourself.
What's funny is I've never seen that joke.
I saw it like every cartoon show and movie for like a 3-year span. It was like, look funny.
Okay. Well, you made me think of something. I've said this before, and on very rare occasions it's gotten me to laugh, but like in my opinion, the lowest form of comedy, particularly in movies, is the just like the comparison joke. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Adam Sandler.
Oh, what are you, fucking seal? What are you,
Yeah.
What are you?
It's so easy.
Da-da-da.
So Adam Sandler's comedy, where he's just
Seth
like,
Rogen is very...
hey, you're blah, 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 you're blah, 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 and
It's
you're blah,
anybody
blah.
can do it. Like, fucking, like, what are you?
A Jew?
What are you? Some specific pop culture reference?
I will say one thing that's kind of like another, kind of a more broad, that I just thought of when you were saying that is when the movie has to stop to recognize a joke, or or like something that's sad, I really appreciate movies that don't ever stop to be like, hey, did you hear that joke? Because I've heard jokes like that in comedies, and they happen like off screen, and I think they're really funny when they do it like that.
Yeah.
I really think jokes off screen are like, Marvel has done this before, where they just ADR shit in the background, that like Tony Stark will say, and I like that stuff, and it feels better in Marvel movies because Marvel's notorious for like having to stop a scene for a joke.
Right.
But when they don't treat the audience like we need to stop to clap and laugh, and just like, if you heard it, great. If you didn't, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Because when you go home and you watch it without an audience, it's incredibly awkward.
It's almost like the Big Bang Theory, where you take away the like fake applause, and I've seen videos on YouTube.
Those type of shows don't exist without laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it.
You literally like you watch them like do a joke, and then they like all look at each other like.
Yeah, I can't.
While people laugh.
Yeah.
I have more, but I feel like we'd just be talking forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
That was a really good question.
That was a good question. If you want to know more stuff, you can ask a number 2 version of this question later, because I feel like I could go on for like 20 more minutes.
All right, this is from Sydney A. Whoever the fuck that is.
Interesting.
I think she lives
in Canada or
across the hall.
Oh, yeah. And she goes to another school.
Yeah.
You guys would know.
Yeah.
Movie or quote or character that sums you up.
Okay.
Why are you all looking at me?
I don't know. I feel like you normally answer first. I have an answer, but I actually have a character.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of cheat on this question because I've actually had this thought recently, like a character that I relate to a lot. You don't fall asleep. It's from a show. From Dexter, Jennifer Carpenter's character in Dexter. I really, it doesn't define me, but it definitely like. I see myself in that character more so than a lot of other characters that I can think of right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've seen Dexter, so I could be like,
yeah.
Oh, that's so you.
But I feel like it takes, even if you've seen it, it takes some explaining. So
I feel like mine is very, I don't know. Mine isn't like very specific, but like fucking, I don't know, Eric Foreman from That 70s Show.
okay.
And I feel like for obvious reasons.
I can see it.
He's a nerdy character, but he's also like self-deprecating in his dorkiness, which
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
I can see that.
And that is all there is to that, basically.
I just really like the character in Dexter because she's like, she's so hard-shelled that it actually like makes her fragile. And I just really can like, it's like I'm looking at a mirror kind of sometimes when I'm watching her character like interact with other people, and definitely can't relate to the trauma she goes through. The character goes through way too much shit in that show. It's ridiculous.
I haven't seen Dexter, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
New season coming out. You guys should watch the show.
I like can't think of any. I have 2 things that I thought of that I don't even think fit, but I just thought of them for some reason. One of them is like kind of cringy, but whatever. It's the Joker thing where he's like, found out my life's not a tragedy. It's a fucking comedy.
You made it cringier.
Yeah, I know. That's because I didn't want to say it, and I knew from the get-go, it's like, this is not okay. And then the other one is, all I can think of is Pete Davidson, just because he's like a gangly, tall guy that's like, whatever, is kind of awkward, but I don't know. I can't think of a movie.
It's a tough question.
Jesse asks, are you allowed to poop on Christmas?
No. It's against the law of the Jesus law. Next question.
All right. If someone made a film about your life, what genre would it be? Who would be the director and writer? And most importantly, who would play yourself? And this is by John.
God fucking damn it.
This is too hard.
I know. Well, okay, I know who would play myself. Because he's basically my doppelganger. It's the I've said this before in private, but the kid from It Follows, I feel like looks...
Not Dane DeHaan?
No. I can see why you'd say Dane DeHaan, but I really do think the fucking kid from It Follows. If you're watching the video version, Gage is going to put a photo, because I said he's going to.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's...
Sorry, bud.
Alright, there's a photo of the... Yeah, I'm sorry. I think he fucking looks like me.
That'd be awkward if I forget. We'll see.
It's just a picture of Ben Shapiro. Well, now there's gonna be a photo of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro! Anyway. Fucking... I'm excited for this episode to come. Yeah, so I think he would play me. As far as director, I don't fucking know, dude. Oh yeah, no, wait, what did I say before we started? The Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
I want the Daniels to direct a movie about my life. And I want the kid from It Follows to play me.
Swiss Army Man.
What else was part of the question?
Right? Swiss Army Man?
Director, writer, genre, who would play you?
And yeah, it would be a comedic drama, a dramedy.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
My life would be an R-rated, gritty, Saving Private Ryan-esque movie directed by Tarantino. And Samuel Jackson would definitely play me. And I would get an N-word pass, so I mean, hell yeah, you know?
All right.
Imagine Samuel Jackson with like a Letterboxd hat and like drinking coffee and writing scripts.
He has like a fireplace on in the background. He's just like,
God.
What's up, motherfucker? Another episode of Cinema 7, bitch!
Cinema episode of Cinema 7. It's so dumb. It's weird. Micah has no answer once again.
So mine would be a comedy. It'd be directed by Steven Spielberg. I fucking guess. No, Chris Columbus. It'd be directed by...
Wait. Don't tell me. I have a guess. And you would have fucking, what's his nuts from the Maze Runner.
Oh, Dylan O'Brien?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I just
McLovin will play you.
Fuck you. I've actually gotten that comparison before. Well, I did in high school, but...
Oh my god.
What?
I see it.
Fuck.
It's okay. That guy's pretty handsome now. So it's fucking...
Okay.
I'd fuck him.
Alright. I was actually gonna say Griffin Gluck. Not that anybody knows who that is.
Nope.
That sounds like a made-up name.
Here, I'll show you.
Griffin.
Fucking Griffin Gluck.
So Chris Columbus, comedy, Griffin Gluck. It's a superhero.
Oh, that's that Australian politician who was saying something about like how like
He was in American Vandal. This kid. Yeah, see that?
It hasn't loaded yet. Wow.
Isn't that great? That kid.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Griffin Gluck, I guess. I was gonna say Andrew Garfield, but that man is way too attractive, so...
I'd fuck him.
You just
I feel like I
saying
just
that.
said it like...
Man.
All right, what's up? What's next?
I love Paul Giamatti.
Is that one of the comments?
No, you're supposed to say I'd fuck him.
I actually do like Paul Giamatti as an actor.
So you'd fuck him?
I don't know if I'd fuck him, but... Oh, shit.
Well, looks like we have audio only now.
Well...
Okay.
Sorry. Camera's dead.
Alright, what are all your hobbies outside of movies?
Ooh. Okay.
I love sports. Before...
Oh, I guess we have our webcam, so I'm retarded.
Fuck yeah!
Hi,
That's
webcam.
awesome! What's up, webcam?
This is why we have a backup. Fuck you, Lumix.
Should we just make a cut and just explain that we're going to be using this angle?
Yeah, so we'll be using this angle now because the Lumix is dead.
Wait, are we telling spoilers?
Of what?
I'm sorry.
What?
It was like a... Because you were like, oh, we're gonna use the side
Also,
camera,
if
and then
you're
Kyle was like, wait, you should tell the side
Oh.
camera. So I was like, wait, are we doing spoilers? It was
That was too complicated of a joke for me to just get.
All right.
I need to be
saying that.
friends with smart people.
Also, if you're listening to the audio version, nothing is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
Okay.
cameras
Just
is
fuck
dead.
it. Just fuck it. Let's go.
What are all your hobbies outside of movies? Before COVID, I like sports. I mean, I still like sports. I watch sports, but I would be in like YMCA basketball leagues and stuff. It's, I like playing basketball and football.
Well, I was always a really creative kid growing up. I wanted to be an animator for a little while. I don't really do that consistently. Sometimes I draw. I like video games. I like stand-up comedy. Not doing stand-up comedy, but watching stand-up comedy, which I've said on this podcast before. I've been trying to teach myself to play guitar, and I'm garbage. I can't figure out how to do the chords for the life of me.
I'm just imagining Kyle doing stand-up comedy and just farting into the microphone now.
I mean, Shit, dude, don't spoil my act
My
on the
bad.
Don't
podcast.
spoil my ass.
Dude, this is my punchline.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I answered that question. Gage doesn't have a life outside of movies.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch movies. I make movies. I write movies. I like to.
I said outside of movies.
I like big movies. I know.
You like
it's
big
tough.
movies?
I like big movies.
We even worked at a
Big,
movie theater.
giant movies in my face.
That's tough. Honestly, like most of what I'm into is just like somewhat film related to a degree. But I definitely, I would say the thing I'm most into is just like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm very interested in like history and politics, I guess. So yeah, like I listen to a lot of like podcasts on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gage is a patriot.
I'm a patriot. Yeah.
Sponsored by.
So you're all shy, but I'm a patriot.
And I grew up with guns. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We also have a bulletin board, or not a bulletin board, a clipboard in front of us, and you guys wrote.
You guys, excuse me, you need to clarify. See, now he wants to group us together.
I don't know who wrote this, but it says Kyle is gay, and Kyle is spelled Kile, and gay is spelled Gaye. And I just want to know, like, what was the conversation expected for this part of it? You know, because there's a lot of things we can talk about regarding this.
I don't know, I'd give it like a B+ overall.
My gayness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe seeing it written on paper would like help you like accept it.
Like come to terms with it.
Yeah, like sometimes I just need like when you're like reading a novel and you're just like wow, and you read something like when I'm like so one time I was reading a novel and it just said you're a patriot and I was like wow, it just hit me, I am Mel Gibson from The Patriot, and then. Yeah, so that's kind of where my mindset was for writing down Kyle is gay. I hope it's helped you.
Okay.
I don't know if it has.
I will get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. Anything I can do to help, really.
Yeah, you're welcome. I felt,
So I realized we never said what this podcast was called or like what our names were.
the dialogue.
So this is the dialogue, and my name's Gage. Just do it right now.
I'm Kyle,
I'm Micah.
and this has been The Dialogue, Season 1.
Oh yeah, Season 1's over. It's the end
I
of the
felt
year.
like this whole episode, I was like the Tony Gonzalez of this episode of the podcast.
Or like everything.
Yeah,
you said, we
everything.
were just like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Don't you agree?
Honestly,
Do you agree?
all jokes aside and all me being gay aside, I think it'd be nice to just like take a moment and just like reflect on like this podcast.
All right, now Gage is going to edit an entire montage together of us laughing.
No, I'm not.
And
No, I'm not. Thank you, though. You think we'll ever make an episode where something just doesn't die or go wrong? Lately, it's just been happening. But we got the webcam.
Donate to our podcast so we get better
So we can buy
equipment.
more batteries.
Because we can't afford batteries.
You know what? I'm buying more batteries.
We
tonight.
can afford giant ass posters of our own movies, but extra batteries.
I'm gonna buy
No.
more batteries today with the money I got for Christmas,
Quiz me.
and I might buy a table soon so we can be more
Nice.
professional.
And
We need more microphones.
write things in the comments to make me feel good about myself so someone can do that.
Oh yeah. Just doing the classical,
Plug in.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
At Dialogue Pod for updates on
Interact with us because we had some interaction over the last week, and that was fun.
Yes. Follow us on Dialogue Pod. Also, this podcast, if you're not listening already, what are you doing?
Follow us on Instagram.
What are you doing?
This is going on Instagram.
I didn't say you could do this.
We're doing it.
Wow, you're posting something on Instagram for the first time in like 2 months?
Yeah.
Idiot. So yeah, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Apple
Please,
Podcast.
for the love of fuck, give us reviews on Apple Podcasts because
That'll
that
help out
is
a lot.
apparently that is like the biggest way to get more
Yes.
people to watch on Apple Podcasts. So for the love of God, Jesse, I know you listen on Apple Podcasts. Give us a review, or
Yeah.
we will come to your house and I'll shove that crowbar up your butt. If you really want to support the show, do that. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because we want to, we want to get more people watching, and I mean, the more people that start watching, the more fun stuff we'll do.
And we have a lot of big ideas.
It's not just like we want more people to watch. We feel like the more people watch, the more shit we'd be able to.
Yeah, we have a lot of big ideas in the pipeline for this podcast.
We want it. We really. I think the future we see with this podcast is doing a really really awesome Patreon type subscription where we do like extra shit, and not just like extra in the sense where it's like, oh yeah, you can have this stuff too. Like it's additional shows that are like just as good quality of this, like not half-assed stuff.
Merch would be cool too.
Merch would be really fun.
But we need more people fucking supporting us.
Exactly.
Warrant doing all that.
I don't know if any of you guys would be interested in a Patreon. Let us know, because like if there was like, I don't know, 10 to 20 people who would do a Patreon, then we can actually start getting that ball rolling. I don't think right now we only have 40 subscribers, so and we got to talk like how much it would be and stuff like that.
There's a bright future for the future of this podcast, but we need your help to, and also I think one of the best ways that you can help support is just fucking sending it to people who you think would enjoy it. You know? Like exactly, sharing it and letting us know also like things that you'd be interested in seeing. What do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to do? Like ideas to help improve the show. Like we're still figuring all this stuff out. So like I would definitely appreciate like, hey, I think this would be something cool to like improve things, or I think if you did this structure, if you added the segment like this, that would be. If you want Gage to blur out my nose in every episode because it's just too disgusting to look at, then we can do that. We could put on some kind of like Halloween face mask or something, so we don't see his face.
We could just buy a mini like face mask like for COVID and just like
we want to upgrade the equipment slowly. We want to have like an actual set. Yeah, we want to have multiple microphones. Yeah, I got some money, so I think the next investment is going to be into batteries, and I really think I want to get like a really awesome fucking table. And then once we have a table and chair set up, for real, then microphones so we can have individual mics. Yeah. And then probably an additional camera. So I have like a 2-camera setup. Yeah. Plus the webcam, so that'd be fun. I'm excited. I think the future of this podcast is very bright.
Don't forget to ask questions also.
Yeah, ask questions. Keep that going. You guys are doing amazing.
Love those questions.
The dialogue does not end with us. The dialogue continues with you.
That was poetic.
All right.
And with that,
I think that's an episode.
I think
that's a season of
the season of the dialogue. Tune in next year,
where we do want to do some
kind of do a reflection on 2020 and all the movies that came out.
Well, we also have plans to do a very extensive or somewhat extensive Oscar coverage.
Definitely.
Thanks for helping us get through this year by interacting with us.
Mm-hmm. This podcast was definitely one of the things that was the light at the end of the tunnel, as far as
Stay safe. Have a very Merry Christmas, even though Christmas is over. Have a happy...
No, it's not. Still got a few days.
Have a happy New Year. Stay safe. Live better. Walmart.
And with that, all I have to say is,